Good morning, hello again. So we're back at Holmedale at Sherwood Farm Park. It's a lovely day, it's muggy, it's mild. It has forecast a bit of rain today, so probably have to boil it for a part of the day, but it started off really warm. And the fish are all moving around. There's signs of a few spawning down the edges, so they're not quite finished spawning yet. I'm on peg 9, so I'm on a good peg. We won the Open on Wednesday. I think Carl Brown won it with £120 or something like that. Fishing down the edge late on, but they were fishing like 1 till 7 or 2 till 8, so they're fishing late, so hours are different, so we struggle to get those sort of weights. But today the fish are spawning a bit, so I'm not sure how many are actually going to feed at all. It could be a real tough match today. So peg 9's a good peg, it's a bit of a point. I can fish up either side, and I've set up a couple of pace lines. I've got fed up a feeder line and some margin rigs, but I'm not going to fish close into the margins. But I've got a point here, so I can fish close to the point, platforms to fish to. So I've got lots of options if they're going to feed. I've got Jacko. Jacko's on peg 4, so there's got plenty of room. 5 empty pegs to my right, and to my left I've got Nicky on peg 13, so there's 3 empty pegs that way. So I've got plenty of room, but the fish just look like they're spawning at the moment and don't look very interested at all in anything we're going to feed them today. So, I mean, £50 could win this match today. It depends. There may be sections of them are spawning and the rest of them are feeding. We really don't know. We'll probably tell after a couple of hours, but the first 2 or 3 hours is always slow in this match, and then it comes good later on because we're fishing 10 till 4. So I think winning these type of matches, I think if you can catch a few fish in, between 10 and 1 o'clock, get yourself ahead before they start feeding in the afternoon, you stand a good chance then. But if you struggle in those first 2 hours and put hardly anything in the net, it's difficult to catch everybody up when we're all catching in it later on. But today could be totally different. But let's hope we have a good day. That's today's buffet. We've got some dead reds on today, a few more worms. We've got the paste, hemp. So we're half an hour in, I've got my first fish on. Everybody else has caught 1 or 2. Ghosty. Nice fish. Probably 4 or 5 pound. One hour in, second fish. Some big fish as well. Trying to keep it low. It's fought hard, but it's in. Dilly hooked. £8 maybe. Bream. Bream. I'm catching them all in red maggot at the moment. A bunch of 4 or 5 maggots on a white gape 16 and a full kinder pot of red maggot. Didn't take long. A little in there. It's not up properly. Tucked outside the mouth. It's nice when the bigger ones come in slow and pop their heads up, short and fat. That's a better one. Probably £7. Putting on a bunch of maggots. And a pot full of dead reds. Riggers and 4x10s. Gobbling out float, about 2 foot deep. White bang line. Yeah. Thought this was small, but it's not. It's a good fish. fish as well. Oh! That's a proper honey monster. To lunge at it. Oh, get in. Another cracking fish that is. Looks superb. They're only little ones though. Only babies. I hope the big ones turn up later. Brolly getting in the way. That's another one, lovely comment. And they're responding really well to maggot at the moment. I found a little spot where I can fish well away from the bank, probably 1.5 meters away from the bank, with a bit of weed hiding my float on the end of my tip. I'll get you in a minute. Right, it's 1 o'clock. So we're halfway through. And I've got 15 carp and 1 bream. So I've had a great first half of the match. All of them have come on red maggots to my right hand margin. I'm fishing a bunch of dead reds, look, on a wide gape 16. Just filling the kinder pot up with dead reds. So anyway, got another 3 hours to go. Let's hope it carries on. Back down these margins. Definitely really responding to the feed though. That's gone, what, within a minute? Not always like that. I just rested it for a couple of minutes, refed it. We can get some good fish in all 6-7 pounders. So, I'm estimating weight between 50 and 60 halfway through the match, which is great. Just need it to carry on now. See if we can do the ton. Jacko's catching really well on peg 4. In fact, most people are catching. Oh, that's another really good fish. Another beautiful mirror carp. Oh, that's another big fish. That's a chunky fish, that one. Must be 7 pound. So it's nearly 2 o'clock now. We've got 18 carp in the net. It's going well. I'm still catching in the margin to my right. I tried to feed her a couple of times when it's gone quiet in the margin, but nothing on the feeder. I'm still catching on the bunch of maggots. Jacko's catching one on peg 4. He must have had over 20 carp by now. Sean Hanran's catching a few as well. Lilliman started to catch him in the corner, but he had a really poor first half of the match. So Lilliman's on peg 55 or 56, something like that. 55 I think he is. Hanran's on 51. To my left, Nick's catching on feeder and in the margins. And I think Brian Cox has been catching in the margins all day, so he must have a good weight. Just 2:30. We had quite a quiet 40 minutes or so. Not had a fish for since about 10 to 2. missed it. Long fish. I'm just going in the net. That's a good fish. Got half a big pot of dead reds for each fish. There's an hour and a half left, and there's point being shy. Got the last fish on a full worm. Seem to have gone quite enough on the maggot. It's 3 o'clock, last hour. I've had a quiet hour really, only one fish, lost a couple. It wouldn't quite fit in properly. It didn't face the right way, so. Look at the size of that one. That's a big fish. Really brolly getting in the way. That's a good fish, that one is. That's a big lump, that one. Hopefully we've seen the last of the rain there. Got it. I think this is 21. There's some dolphins down here. They've come back onto the feed again. But... So this last 15 minutes I've gone in with double worm. We've just had a ghosty. So I've got 23 carp now. Lost a couple. Lost a few in these reeds. They've just took me straight in. Right, well that's the end of the match. I've caught 23 carp. It's just been a lot more difficult this afternoon than it was this morning. On bream as well. So it's been a lovely day today. Loads of people have caught fish. Should be a good weigh in. Let's go and find out. Speak to you in a bit. Jacko!
That tree.
Fishing feeder. Hey, see tree. It's been a tree.
14-12.
Somebody's had bomb stuck in tree.
That'd be you. Enjoy, mate.
He got come again.
Yeah.
What do you mean again? Hey, what's up here?
You have to get that close, Phil.
Hey, look at him.
Yes, I can see him.
I gathered
Look like he's got a side.
One there.
I have to fish there.
I can see it all in your margin.
What fish the end of reach, Steve?
Steve,
Yeah, just when it's going over.
I can see it all in your margin over there on sand.
Yeah.
He just wanted someone else.
Are you sure you've not gone over?
5-5.
So Wiggy was close to going over in that net. It's easily done. Over to me that net.
That's first fucking 4 hour.
55, 56. 56, 15. Walnut, mate.
I think we're in there.
Looks more than that.
50.
Roger, sorry Roger.
That's good looking at Roger.
70 then.
38-10.
I said 70.
Well done, Sean. Well done off that peg. No need for that.
Now the way it's just it's facetious. It's terrible.
It was right below fat belly, that one.
That were a clever word.
Good morning. We've got the results in from the Holmedale match yesterday. But first of all, let's talk a little bit about the match. It was, I mean, it turned out in the end into a very good match. It was the best one we've had this season with high average weights. I think total weight yesterday was 1,175 pounds between 19 anglers. So it's an average of nearly 62 pounds per angler, which is a great weight, really. It's still not, Holmedale still not reached its full potential, but that just shows you it's on the right lines. So when we got there yesterday morning, there was fish showing signs of spawning in the margins, although I mean that died off throughout the day. But what you did have was a lot more fish feeding on the spawn, a lot more fish ferociously feeding throughout the day than there were actually spawning. So they were actually in a hungry mood. So people were catching from the off. But I struggled in that first hour. I think I had 2 fish in the first hour, 1 actually on the hour mark, just from fishing at various different ways. But it wasn't until I actually changed to maggot, just kinder potted into one particular spot about 1.5 meters, 2 meters from the bank, that I actually started to get regular bites. In that second hour, I had 10 carp in the second hour, which is brilliant. So at 12 o'clock, 10 carp in the net, and some decent fish as well. So I thought, wow, I'm on for a good weight here. But then the rest of the day, I was just picking odd fish up. So I ended up with 23 carp. Nearly all of them were caught on maggot to the margins to my right. I had the odd 1 or 2 on worm, and out in front of me on worm later on, so I only had 1 fish in the last hour. So my margins pretty much died later on. But by then I got 23 carp in that, and there must have been at least 10 of them were, above 5 pounds. So I was getting a good stamp of fish. So, but I didn't really fancy it at the start. But looking what the fish were doing, I thought, well, we might struggle. I even contemplated that perhaps we should be on the Trent fishing rather than fishing that match yesterday. Yeah, it was a really good match. So we're on to the section winners then. The first section winner from peg 13 was Nick Heath with £75 7 ounce, and he caught a mixture of a feeder and his margins. The second section winner was Steve Aratsby from peg 27. He did £80 1 ounce. Well done, Steve. It's the second time he's drawn down the end of the lake in the last couple of matches, and he certainly knows how to fish it. Third was Gary Summerscales with £81 2 ounce. Well done, Gary. And then the final section winner was Roger, his brother, off the next peg, off peg 43. He had £87 5 ounce. So well done to the section winners, so really good backup weights there. On to the top three now. So we've got Pete Jackson, who came in third place with £88 13 from peg 4, fishing towards peg 3 but tight to the bank. So he was catching well from the start, and I think he had 6 fish or so in the first hour, and it looked like he was going to do a ton easily. But his swims died off in the latter part of the match. I think that just cost him victory in the end. The last hour or two, he just sort of died off. So second then we've got Brian Cox, who's become a really quality, fearsome angler in the last few years. Certainly he's retired in the last few weeks, and he's spending some more time on it. He had a section winner at Springvale with 90 odd pounds a couple of days ago as well, and he followed that up with a second place here with £92 5 ounce from peg 15. Another great performance, Brian. And then on to the winner then. So the winner with the 23 carp from peg 9 was myself with £108 8 ounce. So it was a great weight yesterday. Very, very pleased with that. I did think I'd got anywhere near that, and I actually messed up the nets and it nearly cost me. So it was a bit on the footage where I actually had £72 in one net. So I was deducted £12 from going over the net, limited to £60. So I really enjoyed the match. It was very unpredictable. I didn't fancy it at the start. I did like the draw though, so thanks to Billy Harrison for drawing me another good peg. He's done really well when we draw him pegs out during these COVID times when nobody goes in the bag apart from Billy. So he's done some really good peg recently, and yesterday was no difference. Peg 9 won the Open in the week. I think I mentioned it on the footage on the week, and then the fish was still there yesterday, so thankfully we caught a few. But anyway, we'll finish with a few highlights. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll speak again soon. Bye for now. Got some dolphins down here.
What way?
Smile.
I have to.
You eggs in there. Okay, mate.
43, 46, 45,
yeah.
44, hold on, 46.
You've got same other one, you've done 9.
Hold on.
Dipstick. You towed him, didn't you? All through Matt.
Fancy KB TV going over. Let's have a look at your net, empty bag.
Every club has to have one, and we've got that.
How do you manage that?
No, every club has to have one, but we've got about 6.
Would you like a picture with these bits?
Yes, please, yes. With a silver net.
A bit late now.
48.8.
Yeah, Kevin.
Well done, Kev.
90
That's a ton. 100.
60 pounds.
118 shouldn't it, Kev? Talk to it, Kev. Talk to it.
120.
Well, camera don't lie.
That's why you do it head to shoulders.
How many cameras on you?
Nicky. Well, hold it. Look how that's loose.
Smile.
From Brian.
I've got an English player, that's English player. Well, if I get in this goal, you're as big as me now.